Hello, and welcome to Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, where saving marriages, saving families, and saving souls is the flavor of the day. Now, let's join our host and author of Marriage Unchained, Catholic Alpha Radical, Jerry Jacobs Jr.
Welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, where I help you fix your Catholic marriage. I've coached and helped hundreds of men in their marriages, and now I want to help you. Call 313-RADICAL now. That's area code 313-RADICAL, and ask me anything on tough marital issues, such as what to do when she's asked for divorce, what to do when you have a mutual agreement of separation but you didn't want it, what to do when your wife is cold and distant, what to do when your wife is having an affair, what to do when your marriage is bad, boring, lukewarm, and passionless, what to do when you engage in a marital embrace less than once a month, what to do when you sleep in separate bedrooms, what to do when she has left the home with or without the children, what to do when you're divorced but didn't want it. Call 313-RADICAL. That's area code 313-723-4225. That's area code 313-723-4225. Again, call 313-RADICAL right now for answers to intimacy problems, communication problems, prayer and spiritual warfare problems, authentic masculinity problems, aka how to man up. So, sit back, relax, take a chill pill, and get ready to rock. But don't duck. Can you feel it? Catholic Alpha Radical coming at you now. Hello, and welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, the podcast that helps you fix your Catholic marriage, while also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, where my main mission is to keep your dirty butt out of the divorce court. And with Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh divorce combat coaching is the flavor of the day, while also helping men understand marriage and courting, not dating, in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting just plain is for marriage. In this 176 episode, Why Catholic Wives Cheat and How to Handle It When They Do, Part 3. Plus, live phone calls from you, answering your marriage and crisis questions. So get in that queue, call 313-RADICAL, that's 313-723-4225, or you can call in using your browser at callinstudio.com/radical1. And please remember to give back and help other marriages by sharing this podcast. And if you are getting value, give it a big thumbs up wherever you are. Don't wait. Get in the queue now for some resolution to your marriage confusion. And as our little caveat, we always do the quote of the day. Quote, no one, absolutely no one believes in divorce until they want one. End quote. Catholic Alpha. Bam. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me to help you in yours. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for some resolution to your marriage confusion. Okay, so we are in part 3 of our, I think it's gonna be a 4-part series. So this will be the 3rd show. I know when I come up with a lot of these, at first, when I first start writing, I think, oh, it's only gonna be 5 or 10, but then I start thinking, and then all of this stuff just starts flowing in my head. So what I do is I don't like to do a lot of one in one show, so I like to split things up, because I like to go in depth. So with that being said, today we are going to talk about, again, why do women cheat? If over the last 2 shows, if you have really tried to listen and really try to take things to heart, you would see that this is complicated stuff, but it's not over. It's not something that can't be conquered. And the main thing is, man, when it comes down to this, your wife just wants you. She just wants you. She just wants your love, your attention, because that's what she married you for, and really, that's what you married her for. Um, the great thing about it is most women, they will take a balance. Like, most women, if you say, they don't want you around 24/7, because my wife and other women, so many other women that I've talked to, they go, man, when he's around too much, I want him to leave, and when he's around not around enough, I want him here. So what does that mean? That's just a balance, right? I had a man the other day telling me his wife said that he was smothering her. Um, and that comes from neediness, right? That comes from neediness. But that, it can be conquered. All I said, it can be conquered. The main thing is a balance, just like with everything in your life, with your children, with your job, but your marriage and God have to be top priority. There's no wiggle room in that. This is why your priority as a man should always be your relationship with God first and your relationship with your wife second. There's nothing even close to those 2 things. And I really believe if you have that mindset and that priority, man, your life will go a lot smoother. Of course, you're going to always have problems. That's just the way things are. But as we've seen, problems are a natural way of life. It's just the way it is, no matter how rich you are, how poor you are. But what is it for? Just think about what I'm getting ready to say. When you go through problems, you have God and you have your wife, you have your spouse with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's how you go through those problems, man. That is what makes your life great. And once you get through it, then you go, oh my God, this person is never going anywhere. God's never going anywhere. God's always there. My spouse is always there. You know, but if we do our life like we're taught today in society, I can't tell you how many men, before they come to me, everybody in their life tells them to leave that B. And I really mean that. They call her a B. They call her a C. They call her all these kind of names. That is his wife. And sure, she's crazy right now, but most of us are sometime in our life. But all the men get is leave her, get rid of her, go get you somebody else. It's over, let it go. The kids be okay. You hear all this stuff all the time, man, and then you get to a point where, hell, you start believing it. But as I try my best to get into the as I try my best to get into this, I tried to people to get men to understand, you have to learn how to make a woman happy. You have to learn how to do that. It's not easy, but it's a balance. And if you give up and you just let it go and be like your wife and be like your people in your life, they're telling you to get rid of her and marriage is over, then what have we done? We have, first of all, displeased God, because instinctually we know that divorce is not of the faith. It's not. Don't, no matter what anybody tells you, it's not in scripture anywhere. Please read, please show me. Please text me, not text me, email me, comment on the show right now. I don't care. Please give me scripture, and I will give you. If you try to give me one, first of all, it's gonna be. Don't be trying to. What do you go? They'll try to rationalize the scripture passage. Don't be doing that. There is nowhere in the Bible where God is favorable with divorce. First of all, Jesus comes and he goes, what does he say? From the beginning, it was not meant to be. So Moses allowed divorce only because of the hardened of the hearts of men, of the husbands. Why? Because there's probably killing the wife, raping her, beating her up, kicking her around, being mean to her, killing her, you know. And so God, he had to go, okay, the concupiscence is real bad, the sin is real bad, the brokenness is really bad. So he allowed Moses to do that. But then what happened? Of course, the New Testament came and knocked all that stuff out. And Jesus goes, divorce is not, it was not meant to be in the beginning. So in the beginning means Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were our first parents. So Adam and Eve were together. They were married forever. There wasn't no divorce. That's what he means. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back. And then we're going to get on with the review of the first 20, and then we're going to get on with number 21. All right, hang out. Stay with me. Okay. Bam. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right, gentlemen, we are back with the content of today, and we are going to review the first 20 of the 40 reasons that wives cheat. Hang with me, stay with me. Let's get pumped up. Let's rock this because this is a very, very important subject. Of course, I say that about every subject I cover, don't I? Well, I'm serious about this one. No, because I want you to understand the thought process behind your wife. That's what our problem. One of our problems for men is we have many, but we also have many good things as men. But one of the problems is we don't understand the thought process of our wife. Nobody teaches us that. Only example we have growing up is our mother for the most part. And if our mother is not engaging, and we don't really know what our mother's thinking. So when we grow up and we start dating, we don't really understand. We're just kind of going by the seat of our pants. So Jerry is here to do his best to help you to understand how your wife thinks, how your girlfriend thinks, why they cheat, why they leave, all these kind of things. Why? Because as a husband, you must know this. You must know this. And I don't want you to be lazy no more. It takes work to build a great marriage. It takes work to build a great relationship with God and with your wife and with your children. It takes work, and stop thinking that it doesn't. You don't want to be 80 years old, 90 years old, 75 years old and be in a nursing home by yourself, nobody visiting you, nobody coming to see you. You got your wife, you guys are divorced, she don't care about you. You don't want to be like that. It takes, and your people at your job, once you don't work there no more, them people ain't gonna come see you in the nursing home. They're not gonna do that. So I beg you, prepare for the end times of your life. Then once you got that prepared, then prepare for your soul for eternity with our Lord. These two things are vital. And so in order to do that, it takes work, gentlemen. It takes work. Stop thinking we could just get up and go to work, come home, eat, go to bed, and then maybe go on vacation once or twice a year. That is not life. That is not life, okay? Our wives and our children and our Lord deserve more than that. You know it and I know it. They want you. God wants you. Your wife wants you. Your children want you. Give them the best version of yourself each and every day. Okay. So now, real quick before we hit the review, I want to expand a little bit on I've said the last 2 episodes of why husbands are in competition for their wife every day. What I just said was a precursor to what I'm going to talk about now. Is we are, even me, I'm a marriage coach. I supposedly know what I'm talking about. I guess I do. But I have a wife too, just like you do. Okay. And I am not under any illusions about my wife. I am one of those guys that I think, hey, I am under no illusion that someone could talk to my wife and my wife can step out on me. I I don't think that, I'm not one of those guys that thinks that never would happen, but it can happen. And so what I ask you to do is the same thing I do, is always pay attention to your wife. Always, 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 man. Take care of her, protect her, defend her, serve her. That way she feels that she is getting the most she can out of her marriage. And then when some homewrecker comes along and tries to be all step up to her, oh baby, you look so nice. That's how it starts, right? Oh baby, you look so nice today. Oh, that's a nice skirt you got on. Oh, that perfume you got on smells so good. See, that's what guys do. That's what Satan does, right? When you ain't around, that's what Satan does to your wife. Talk to her in her ear, just like Satan did to Eve, right? Except old punk Adam was standing right there and he should have said something, but he didn't. But to be honest, usually you're probably at work. So at least you have that excuse. But man, guys are talking to your wife every day. So what does that mean? That means you are in competition for your wife every day. And it's like you're in competition for your job every day. Don't think you're not. Men, we get too darn comfortable. We get too darn comfortable, man. And then that's how Satan comes in and gets our ego and kicks our ego in the butt. So again, realize that you're in a fight twofold every single day. You're in a fight for Satan, for your wife, and you're in a fight, you're in a competition to keep your wife happy and satisfied as a woman so that you are the one that she always wants to be near. And I'm going to say it like I said yesterday, just to review on that. Look, man, your wife, she wants you. This is who she wants, okay? And all you got to do is keep a balance and love her and make sure she's taken care of. And then she'll love you and make sure you're taken care of. There's no other way around it. There isn't. Okay. So real quick, we're gonna review the first 20. I'm not gonna go into them at all because it's a lot of them. And if you want to hear the first 10, go to episode 174. If you want to hear part 2, the second 20, the second 10, which go to episode 175, which is part 2. Okay, to hear really in depth about those, because today I don't want to spend a lot of time in reviewing a lot because guys get kind of bored with that, because especially the ones that's been here the whole week. All right, so first, the top 40. Why I'm gonna say top 40? These are the 40 reasons why it's cheap. All right, guys, get your mind going. Get this stuff. Embrace what I'm saying. Try to look at yourself in the mirror. Also, look at your wife. And also, while I'm going through these, man, think about, hey, what did Jerry leave out? He might have left out something. And if I did, guess what? I might bring it up on next Tuesday at the next show, because that's when I'm going to do 31 through 40. Okay. All right. So here we go. Number 1, their husband is a bad or inadequate lover. Number 2, their wife was abused sexually as a child. Number 3, their wife had sex outside of marriage. Number 4, the wife doesn't embrace God in her life. Number 5, her husband neglects her. Number 6, her husband does not listen to her. Number 7, her husband does not defend her with his family. Number 8, your wife does not pray. Number 9, she feels her husband doesn't love her. And number 10, menopause. So that is from part 1. Okay, now here's part 2, yesterday's show. So number 11, no father. Your wife didn't have a father in the home. Number 12, your wife's parents were divorced. Number 13, spiritual warfare. Her husband is not praying for her. Number 14, she feels her husband will never change. Number 15, she feels the marriage is hopeless. Number 16, the emotional connection is gone in the marriage. Number 17, her husband doesn't make her feel that she is priority number 1. Number 18, her husband has stopped dating and courting her. Number 19, her husband has stopped showing passion for his wife. And number 20, her husband is having or has had an affair. Okay, that was from part 2 yesterday's show. Now, look, y'all, you might be thinking, as I said earlier, you might be thinking, oh man, what does that got to do with cheating? Dude, first of all, if you asking that, then you definitely don't know the mindset of your wife. Okay, so what you have to understand with women, relationships, first of all, they are way more women are way more advanced when it comes to relationships than us. So they are on top of it a lot better than us. Why? Because of the nurturing thing that they're emotional. God created them. That's why women, once they get into the faith, they are a lot more intuitive and stuff. Okay. And they're dragging me and you along as men, right? So what I want you to do is when I talk about these things, look at it in like, this is one of the things that could cause my wife to cheat on me or to be unfaithful and stuff like that, because all of them are one. Another thing too, it might not be one thing, but once it gets to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and all the a different lot of things, your wife will start to disassociate herself with you. And one of the first things is the intimacy stops, right? Intimacy, the hugging, the talking, the hand holding, the hugging for 20 seconds, the passionate kisses, even the pecks. Then you guys stop talking. You don't talk to each other. All of a sudden, you don't even really realize it, and the emotional connection is gone in your marriage. So then when these things happen, then that's when the door is open for your wife, for another man to step in on your rights, your bodily rights to your wife. Okay. So now let's start today with number 21. We're going to get with the new stuff today. So here we go. Let's do it. Number 21. I can say you, but she and her husband are not best friends. Okay. Bam. That is a no-brainer once I explain it. Okay. Best friends is the key to intimacy inside and outside the bedroom. Best friends is the key to trust and vulnerability, which is vital in marriage. Best friends is the key to you knowing many problems and issues as they happen and not getting it secondhand from your wife or from another friend. Best friends makes it hard for your wife to abandon you for another. Dude, did you hear what I just said? You and your wife being best friends, it makes it hard for her to abandon you for another person. Why? Another man. Why? Because you guys are so close. You're not. Look, husband and wife is said is marriage is friendship set on fire. Okay, so this is why if you guys were probably best friends before you got married. Sure, your wife had her high school buddy, or high school friend, or age friend, and you had yours. But it always worries me when I hear spouses say, "Well, I'm going to spend time with my best friend." Oh, I'm thinking, oh, your husband's hanging out or your wife's hanging out. No, I'm talking about my buddy from college. What? Okay, he's your buddy, but he should not be your best friend. You know why? Here's what happens, man. When we don't when we have a best friend other than our spouse, the first thing that happens is the spouse is telling they so-called best friend all your problems. They're telling them, what kind of lover you are. They're telling them, all the discomforts and all the things that they're unhappy about your spouse about. Like, I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about that. They're venting to a person that is not their best friend, that is their best friend instead of you. So let's go to that as a husband. Okay. So your wife, you're not her best friend. Okay. So basically, every time something goes wrong, she don't talk to you. She goes talk to her best friend that she had in grade school because she understands me. Okay. So that's another thing. If your wife is walking around talking about you understand her, dude, that's marriage problems. That's marriage problems. And then when things happen in your wife's life, she ain't running to tell you. She wanted to tell her best friend what's happening. Another thing too. Well, I got to go on girls' night. Yeah, we go and look. You look up. Your wife's going on girls' night every month, every week or something. Not without you, right? If a wife does not want to spend time with her husband, that means something's wrong. It means something is wrong. If Think about it. You married this person and you decided together, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this woman. She is the woman of my dreams. She's going to make me happy. I'm going to make her happy. And right now we spend all our time together. And then 2 years later, you can't stand each other. What's wrong with that? What happened? What happened, gentlemen? That's all I'm asking you to think about. This is why I ask you, please, yes, your wife has problems. And her stepping out on her husband, yes, that's her problem. But as a man, we got to ask ourselves, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this woman loved me more than anything in the world. She would die for me. Now she can't stand me and she's letting the other guy talk to her. I've got to ask myself as a man, what happened? What am I doing wrong? What did I do? And be honest with myself. Okay. Best friends is important. And it's also the key to great intimacy, too. A lot of you guys whose wife don't want to have sex with you, that's because she don't feel close to you. She don't feel like that. She doesn't feel like there's anything, there's no trust there. There's no vulnerability. She doesn't feel really close to you. And that's one of the first things women do when they start to not want to be around anymore. They stop the intimacy stuff. Another thing I don't like too is when people are ain't best friends. Again, I don't like. I know that I have a podcast. I know that I have a blog. I know I tell you guys my story and stuff and things that happen in my marriage. But I'm really a private person. I really am. I'm the kind of person I don't like being around people all the time, like a lot of people are. My wife has to drag me from the house. But one thing I do know is I would not like somebody telling me something that my wife told them as part of our life. And I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what my wife says and doesn't say. It's just, I don't know, just like she would. She don't live first finding out that, if I said something to one of my friends, my wife, she's a terrible dresser or something. Let's say something like that. And I haven't told her about it, but I didn't told him, she might get mad at that. And that's what I'm saying. That's secondhand stuff. Whereas if we're together and we're best friends and our relationship is close and intimate and tight, we know how each other are and we're vulnerable to each other. Hey, I would talk to her about that first before I go sprinting to somebody else. But if I don't trust her, or if my wife doesn't feel approachable to me, she's not going to tell me things. That's another thing that you guys got to understand about being best friends, about raising your voice with your wife, about yelling at your wife, about calling your wife names, about arguing to fight with your wife. That means right now you are unapproachable. Every time I tell you something, you don't either listen to me, it doesn't make sense. We start arguing and fighting with each other. You calling me a name, you're raising your voice at me, you're yelling at me as your wife. That means that as a husband, I am up and I am unapproachable. Which means what? My wife is gonna bitch and whine and nag to somebody else and be vulnerable and trust somebody else before she trusts me. So being best friends is because a best friend don't yell at they best friend. A best friend they don't argue and fight. They most time agree on stuff. And if they don't, what do best friends do? They work it out. They go like, well, they compromise or whatever they do. They work out the problem together. Or they let things go that ain't worth losing their friendship over. And so this is marriage. This is marriage, guys. This is marriage. You got to be best friends first, and then the intimacy and the love will come. You guys talking about, well, we have great sex without being best friends. Yeah, today. Today, yeah, you 20 years old, 25, 30, 35 years old, or whatever you are. I don't care if you're 40 or 50 today, but the older you get, guess what? The intimacy it needs something else. It needs something else because you're older, your body ain't the same. You have a lot of stress, a lot of things going on in your life that gets in the way of great intimacy. Okay, so if you guys are best friends, that never happens. And if it does, it's so rare, you don't even really think about it. Okay, please. That is one of the main points that I go over in my program is how to become best friends with your wife. It's so important. Okay, so that's 21. Number 22 of the reasons why women cheat is her husband is selfish. Nobody thinks they're selfish, do they? Nobody. Right now, you sit there listen to me. I'm not selfish. I give all who I am to my wife and my kids. I go to work every day. I get the car fixed when it gets broke. But we're all selfish, and it fights. It's a constant everyday thing to not think about myself. So when I say selfishness, when I say her husband is selfish, this is what I mean. Before I think about God, before I think about what's best for my wife, before I think about what's best for my children, I think about what I want first. And then worse than that, I basically act upon it. That's selfishness. And this is why, as a husband and a father and a lover of God, we will never reach our potential with selfishness, because that's why Satan got thrown out of hell, thrown into hell. I mean, and that's why most people go to hell is because of their selfishness, their ego, their pride. They can't get over themselves. I got guys right now. Their wives are mean. They only think about themselves. They don't care about nothing their husband's talking about. They don't care. This is why when I say emotional closeness is probably it is the most important thing for women. I'm not joking. Because as soon as that emotional connection is gone, women become completely selfish. They don't even care about the kids like that. Okay? So sorry, y'all, I had to reset. My internet's acting up. But anyway, hopefully you can hear me still, even if my picture's not the greatest. But that's what it is. As soon as the emotional connection is gone, then that's what happened. Women become selfish. And I don't want that for you. Okay. So selfishness, plain and simple, kills marriages. When husbands fail to put God, their wife, and marriage, their kids above his wants, desires, and needs, there's always a disconnect. And they are in conflict with each other, because the husband is in conflict with himself. He's in conflict with himself over who do I give my priority and my time to. And it's really easy when you go, okay, God, everything's cool with God. My wife in marriage, everything's cool with my marriage and my wife. Okay, my kids, how my kids doing? Boom, now I can do what I want. It's real simple. Every decision, every time you think, everything you do, that should be your thought process. Okay. Um, and women will rebel against selfishness. Why? Because instinctively they know selfishness is not authentic and true masculinity. This is something that you have to understand. Women instinctively know that as a man, if we are bitching and whining and complaining, if we always talk about ourselves, every time there's a problem, it always goes around as somebody else's fault, as we never take responsibility. You know, women they want to get away from that, don't they? Because they know that's not masculine. That's not Christ. That is not Christ. And our job as men is to represent Christ in the home. That's why our wives and our kids look to us. No matter if your wife is a CEO or the president or a congressman or whatever she is, a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your wife is. When she comes home, women know that when I come home, my husband is there to protect me. He's there to defend me. He's there to serve me. That's what we do. Okay. And with a man, I've had wives say, man, all he does is think about himself. And every guy goes, I don't think about myself. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. That's why it's a very rare man, that doesn't think about himself. So how do you fix that? Well, how you fix that, man, is you fight it. You fight it. You have a plan. Like, it's real simple. I never ever think about myself until God is happy, my wife in marriage is happy, and my children are happy. Then I can do what I want. Then I can go golfing for the weekend. If my wife comes and says, hey man, the kids got to go to the football game and be with their coach and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what you got to do, because that's what your wife, first of all, she asked you. And second of all, your kids expect you there. So guess what? Golf is out. Golf is out. And look, man, believe me, I know how hard that is. It's really hard. But in order for your wife to believe that you are a server, remember, your third mission as a man is to serve in your home. You are the server. You serve everybody else, which means what? You make sure everybody in your home, your house is filled with this. It's filled with an environment of psychologically good, emotionally good, spiritually good, physically good, so everybody else in that home can prosper and grow towards God. Okay. And if your home doesn't have that environment in it, as a husband, as a man, we are not serving. Okay. Number 23, her husband doesn't show her any appreciation. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I can't even tell you how important this one is. Appreciation wins the hearts of a wife every day, all day. When husbands fail to show her appreciation, wives rebel and begin to lose the emotional connection for their husband. Showing wives appreciation caters to their natural instinct to nurture. So another word for nurture is is my husband pleased? I want to make sure he's pleased. I want to make sure my children are pleased. This is why you need a father in the home, gentlemen. This is why one of the reasons why you're so important. You need a father in the home to balance your wife's nurturing, because women, as soon as the kid comes and goes, Mama, I want to do. Daddy won't let me do this. Whatever it is, your wife's gonna go, oh, why come you can't? Why won't you let him do that? Oh, let him do it, okay? She's like giving in to your kid. You know that what your kid wants to do is maybe unsafe or it's going to hurt him in the long run, and you can see that because you're logical. You are your job as a man is more logically inclined in the home. Your wife's job is more nurturing, more emotional, more I want to please, and I want my kids to be emotionally sound, and so she's in her mind. Your wife's going to try to figure out every way on the planet, every option on the planet to give your child what he wants or she wants. Same with you. When you and your wife are really close and you're on the same page, your wife is going to make every excuse in the book for you. That dude at work fired me. Now I ain't been to work in 2 years and they have the nerve to fire me. your wife, your wife's gonna go, baby, you know they right. There's no way that they should have fired you. You are such a good employee and stuff, and you took care of them all those years, and they had no right to fire you. That's how your wife's gonna be. Your wife is, because she loves you, is bonded to you, connected to you, and she wants to nurture and love you and make sure that you're pleased. This is why courts who give the kids to the women when there's a divorce and automatically give the kids to the woman or give the woman all the time with the kids is a grave mistake, because the women do not know how to separate. They don't know how to, they're not disciplinarians like that. Most women aren't, because their nurturing pulls them to give their child whatever they want. And many times that is not what's good for the child's future. So this is why if in a divorce, I always try to advocate and try to get the guys to give 50-50, at least 50-50. Why? Because daughters and sons need their father, and daughters and sons need their mother. And so it doesn't make sense to let the man see the kid once a month on the weekend and one night a week. What is that? Okay. So that's why. So appreciation is important for your wife, because, man, when you give her appreciation, she feels you love her. She feels you appreciate her. She feels that you're into her, that you understand her. Guys who go weeks and days and months and years and don't show their appreciation for their wife is a mistake, because every day, remember, women are high maintenance. Women are high maintenance, and you might think that's needy. I don't think it's needy. That's what a woman is. She needs appreciation. That's validation that she's doing the right thing, that she's taking care of her husband, that she's taking care of her children. So how hard is it for a husband just to go every day, baby, you know, that was one of the best meals you ever cooked. Oh, baby, that was good. How you took care of that for me while I was at work. You took care of that for me. Thank you so much for doing that. How hard is that to do every day? There's something that your wife does every day, at least one thing a day that you do appreciate. You just don't think about it. You've got to get in the habit of that. Okay. Next, number 24, which goes off number 23, appreciation. This one, her husband takes her for granted. If we get in the habit of taking our wife for granted, we will lose them. Again, they must understand and know that they are the most important thing in our life. And if she is, we will never take her love for granted. Women need to be not taken for granted, which means is you go and put everything above your wife, because you know what? She's going to be there when I get home. Or if she works too, well, when I get home, she'll be there eventually. You know, our wives didn't sign up to be taken for granted. They signed up to be first and foremost in our mind. And if they're not, if every time something come up, we're thinking about, oh, well, we won't, or we just go, well, my wife can do it. No, that's not how it does. Or worse yet, a problem comes up. I, as a husband, know there's a problem, and I go, I'll just take care of that later. She'll be all right. See, that stuff becomes a habit. And then over months and years, what happens is the wife feels that I'm being used. She feels she's being used because he just uses me only when he wants something. That's why another reason why dudes ain't getting sex from their wife, because their wife starts to feel like he just wants me for my body. He just wants me to get off. I ain't trying to do that. He don't do nothing else to me. He don't show me no love outside the bedroom. He don't even hug me, barely. And now he wants to have sex with me. Nope. You guys probably always think, Jerry, why does everything run back around to sex? Because that's how God made it. Sorry. Sex is the second most important thing in your marriage behind prayer. And if you want to make love, you want intimacy with your wife, you as a man got to earn it every day. I'm sorry. That's the way it's set up. I don't know why God did it like that, but it is. And women know instinctively that what they have is a gift, and they know instinctively that you want it. So what they going to do when you start acting a fool and you start distracting her, she's going to go and she's going to remove the sex. And then in worst case scenarios, she's going to go and give it to somebody else. Okay. So taking for granted is a bad thing. Number 25, her husband does not mimic Christ in the home. How does this cause cheating? Okay. So look, you got to look at it from your wife's point of view, not yours as a man. Okay. So look at it like this. He is the husband seen as any other Joe Blow on the street. As a man, husband, and father, if we talk, act, and look like any other man on the street, our wives begin to see us as nothing special. Women want to be proud of their husband, that she has a man who is special, different than any other man on the street, and the way we treat her is the key. Simple. Simple. If you look, talk, and act like all the other dudes that do what they do, you don't act like Christ. You're not a holy man. You're not a saint. You're not trying to move towards God. You're not leading your family nowhere. You're not praying. All you do is go to work. You don't give her the attention. Hey, that's how her other man treats her. So how special are you, really? You're not. We're not special, are we? No, we're not. Our wife married us because they thought we were special and they wanted to serve us, and they thought we had that we were going to treat them good. Not just that, they thought that we are worthy of them, for them to give themselves to us. Does that make sense? It probably did not stammer, but try to understand that they, women, I can't tell you how many women are proud of their husbands. That boy could be the ugliest. That boy could be the ugliest dude, 400 pounds, bald headed, missing teeth. His woman's like, hey, that's my man. He loves me. I love him too. I'm proud of him. That's what I'm trying to hope I got it better. But that's how women are. Women ain't I know on TV you hear women always talking about, oh, he's so buff and he looks so good and he's so cute. Man, in the end, that's not what women, if that's, and the proof of it is society, who women marry. If looks was so important for women, I know I wouldn't be married. I sure wouldn't, because I am not the prettiest peach on the shelf. My sons are, though. My sons are. I ain't. But my point of what I'm saying, if looks were the most important thing for women, would none of us be married? Most of us, and that's the truth. So it's not about your looks. It's not. It don't matter if you got teeth missing, if you're bald headed, whatever. You got one eye closed and your eye moves around. You know how it is? You got your eye, one eye moving around the circle, the other eye looking to the left, and you looking to the right. You got a disjointed eyes. You limping, your arm is broke. You got, it don't matter, dude. You a humpback. Women don't care, dude. When they love you, and they proud to love you too. Because to them, it's about your inner self and how you treat them. That's what women are about. That's what they're about. So that's why you see people think, oh, well, he's got the woman because he's powerful and got a lot of money. Yeah, that's probably true. And he might be busted and ugly or not really a average looking dude. But you know what? Power and money gets a woman, but it don't keep them. Does it? Look at Bill Gates. Him and his wife get ready to get divorced. Probably have. I think they already are. But some I heard, it doesn't matter, dude. Women don't care. Yeah, that stuff or like you being very handsome. You might be a really, really handsome guy and you could pull almost any woman you want. Yeah, but you can't keep them. Eventually, women, they get like, okay, yeah, he was cute, but man, he's a jerk. Right? Because it all comes down to how you treat them. Okay, so next, 26, terrible communication in marriage, arguing, bickering, and nagging. Communication is probably the number one problem I see in marriage as a marriage coach. We get in the habit of talking sour or mean and nasty to our spouse. Neither the husband or the wife can remember how and why it happened. But once it does, it is very hard to fix. Arguing, fighting, and bickering hurts your wife deeply, deeply enough to ask for a divorce or to seek the company of another man. Okay. I cannot tell you how arguing and fighting and name calling hurts your wife to the depths of her soul. And she gets to a point where she just can't take it no more. And that's when she starts cheating because the other guy don't argue with her, at least right now. He don't call her names. He don't get frustrated with her. He don't raise his voice at her. He don't yell at her. He gives her attention and he makes her feel special. And he talks to her. Okay. Enough on that, right? Enough on that one. Number 27. Her husband is a wuss. Woo! Boy, I ain't gonna like this one. Y'all ain't gonna like this one. Many women think they want a wuss until they get one. A sensitive, liberal, unmasculine looking man that she can control at her whim. Doesn't this sound like Eve controlling Adam in the Garden of Eden? And I must ask, how did being a wuss work out for Adam? Look, y'all. As men, we've got to start being men and stop thinking that being sensitive and giving our wife everything she wants, and giving our kids everything they want, and not taking care of business in the masculine department is going to make them love us more. Going to make them think that we're so great and get respect. Matter of fact, when we are wuss, we don't get any respect. We get used in our families. This is why my podcast, my blog is called From Wuss to Warrior. You know why? Because in society, you could be all the wuss you want. You could be a low key dude. You could be even be an introvert, which is not necessarily, it's not a wuss. It's just you introverted. You're an introvert. You could be whatever kind of man you want in society, if that's how you want to do. But in your home, you got to be like Christ, dude. You got to lead your home. And you got to be a disciplinarian. You got to make sure everything works out the way it's supposed to be. You got to run things so that like I said, like everyone that the environment in the house is so everybody can prosper spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. Really. And so if we don't do that, what happens is, man, we just become any other person on the street again. We cannot be a wuss in our home. We have to discipline our kids. We can't let our kids bitch and whine and cry and yell out in church and without spanking their butt or punishing them or taking their phone or taking their pillows and whatever you got to do to be a true man in your home. There's also balance, right? You can't be an ogre, right? You can't be a master. It's a balance. Okay. You got to talk things out with your wife, try to get on the same page and stuff. You know, it's very important that we operate in our homes, that we're open, that our wife and children feel they can come to us. Now, most of the time, it takes your kids along. If you do it right, it's going to take your kids a lot of years to feel they can come to you and tell you anything. They usually usually that's the wife's department. And then when things get real bad, guess who they come to? They come to you. Okay, so let's just get over it. That's just the way it is. But the good thing is, your wife is the one that's always approachable because she's nurturing. That's who the children naturally gravitate to. If you're a disciplinarian and doing things right, they're going to be a little apprehensive, so they're going to run what they want by their mother first, and then come to you. But either way, man, you've got to be a loving, caring, disciplined, approachable husband and father in your marriage and in your family. In your family. Okay. And if you do, your wife and children will respect you. They will love you. They will want to be around you. They want to take care of you and make sure you're happy and you're okay when something's wrong. Like, I can't tell you, like, as long as I'm strong and okay like I am now, but as soon as I get sick of something, my wife and kids are like, where's dad at? Why my kids be like, hey, where's dad? I ain't talked to him. What's wrong with him? Right? Because, as a man, they don't really think about shit till till something, right? But they mama though, they mama boy, they talk to her every day, right? So try your best to understand that one. That's a hard concept, guys. But next, Almost done. Number 28. Her husband criticizes her. So the number 28 reason that women cheat is because her husband criticizes her. Now, you might not think that's a big thing, that shouldn't push her out to go be with another man. General, we got to understand. Of course, if you criticizing your wife, she's not going to go out and go, I'm going to find me another man. No, what that does is you're hurting her feelings. You're opening up, and she doesn't feel that you care. So she opens up her heart and herself to empathy from others. And a lot of time that empathy comes from men at her workplace or at her church or somebody she sees in Walmart 10 times in a row, and she feels she can talk to them. Women, that's just how they are, man. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just that they're emotional and they need somebody to talk to. When they can't talk to you because we're criticizing them, guess what? They're going to go find somebody who they can talk to. A lot of women don't talk a lot to some. They don't talk a lot. That's not true for most women, but a lot of women don't talk a lot. They're quiet and stuff, but they still women. They still need someone who they can trust and feel that can help them, that can lean on. That's just how it is, man. And if it's not us as their husband, it's going to be somebody else. You want making love to be a foreign concept in your marriage, then criticize your wife. I said that earlier. She will look at this as you don't appreciate all she does, and she will start to distance herself from you. I ask you to please stop looking at everything wrong with our wives and look at the right beauty, service, and positive things she does and gives you each and every day. You will begin to see how truly special she is, and she will eat it up. See? Really, man, a lot of guys go, and people in general, well, I don't feel like doing that. Well, today I don't feel like doing that. Okay, well, your wife don't feel like having sex with you. Your wife don't feel like holding your hand or talking to you. See? This is why this goes with number 27 about being a wuss. This is why a man can't go on his feelings. Because let's be real. No matter how close we are with our wives in marriage, we're not goo gaga in love with them every day, right? Sometimes we don't even want to do nothing. Sometimes we don't even want to be around ourselves, let alone somebody else. So what do you got to do? How do you overcome that? You man up. You still talk to your wife. You still hug her. You still kiss her. You still show her she's special. You still tell her you love her. You still remember her birthday. You still take her out for anniversary. You still do all the things that no matter if you feel like doing it or not, you do it because that's your job. Because if you don't, then it'll be over. It'll be over. And you don't want your wife thinking that you're not special, man. Really. You really don't want that. That changes the game, don't it? Okay. So I hope you got that one. Number 29, two more. Her husband is the jealous type. Oh, how many times I heard this one? Jealousy is a control mechanism. If it is needy and pushes our wife away, I must say, as I always say, you can't control a grown person, so why try? Okay. Jealousy is a needy thing. Usually it's needy. It's something in ourselves, and we're putting that on our wife. Okay. The way you gotta look at jealousy is a problem. It needs to be prayed out. It's like an ego thing, and it's insecurity too, isn't it? And so what we got to do, you have to. Jealousy is a what do you call it? It's a needy type of thing, especially for a man. It goes along with the whining and bitching and crying and selfishness type of thing. And women, they think it's cute at first. Oh, he's so jealous. He really loves me. After about 20 times of that stuff, he's like, oh man, this dude's crazy. What's wrong with him? He's controlling. He don't really love me. He just loves himself. He's just trying to keep me in check, right? So guys, if you're a jealous type, what you have to do is really fight that. You really got to fight that, man, because that will push her away. That will push her to another man's arms. Just think about it. If your wife is jealous every time, and women are jealous to a certain extent every time we talk to another woman, a lot more jealous than a normal guy is. But women, what they do is they understand you're going to talk to other women, especially if they're right there. It's not like you're trying to go behind their back or nothing. You're just having a conversation at church or whatever. So, but you as a man, that is very unmasculine, and you've got to fight that because you will push her away. And like I said, all these are about opening up doors, y'all. They're about opening up doors. And once you open up that door, then you allow other people, other men to come in and comfort and empathize and support your wife and stuff. Okay. Last one for the day is her husband constantly tries to control her, which goes along with jealousy, right? So trying to control our wife breaches trust. She will start to think you don't trust her and begin to rebel against you and your controlling nature. Trying to control our wife, again, is needy and disrespectful. This will eventually push her into the arms of another. Okay. I know you hear it all the time. And see, this is what's wrong with America today. We just over push everything. You're controlling. You're controlling. You're controlling. You're controlling. Even when you ain't controlling, you know you ain't controlling. She knows you ain't controlling, but you're controlling if you say one thing. And I'm telling you, let me try to get you to understand that I know in society that we push that and it's crap. It's like the narcissist thing, right? Everybody's a narcissist. You're a narcissist. I can't tell you how many guys I talk to. You're a narcissist. Their wife says them, you're a narcissist. You're a narcissist. It's the same stupid stuff. What it comes down to, man, is if your job is to, in a certain way, control your wife. Let me finish. What I mean is your job as a man to defend her and to protect her. So like I don't like my wife going like it gets dark at 5:30 now in Indiana. 5:30 is dark. I mean, it's pitch black dark too. It ain't like the sun's going down. It's pitch black dark. I'm not trying to have my wife go up in the parking lot in Walmart at 5:30 at night. It's pitch black outside. Why? So my wife get knocked on her head and get thrown in a van and get taken somewhere. Now you might as well say, "Oh, that ain't gonna happen." See, that's what stupid women think too. Ain't nobody gonna never do nothing to them. I can jog at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black outside, and I can jog wherever I want, 2-3 miles in the neighborhood. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Yeah, for the first 10 or 20 times they might not, but what happens with that 21st time? And I would tell my wife, look, you ain't walking up out here by yourself as pitch black out. That's ludicrous. Another thing, dudes letting their wife drive cross country. You in New York and your wife gonna drive by herself cross country to California or something. Or, is that madness? That's madness. That's madness. I'm gonna let my wife just get in the car and drive what she want. That don't make no dang on sense. But women do it all the time because ain't nothing gonna happen. Oh, then your car breaks 9 o'clock at night. Or this you think, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock and your car break down, you pitch black. And this is, I don't, that is our job as men, and I know my video is going out right now, and I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm almost done anyway. Our job is to protect our wife. That's our job. If something happened to my wife and I didn't allow her, or at least didn't put up a fight, and my wife drives cross country or across to another state and it's pitch black outside, she gets hit by a car on the side of the road, her car then broke down, man, I will feel guilty for the rest of my life for that. And sometimes in this society, I even forget. You do too. We forget that our wives are very vulnerable. I don't care if your wife is a master kung fu artist. So what? When a man knocks her upside her head, she will fall. And he put a what do you call it? Put a hood over her head and throw her butt in the back of the trunk. Who gonna save her then? Did her kung fu save her? No, it didn't. The only time, I don't care how big your woman, a woman wife is, how strong she thinks she is, and all that stuff. When a man really hits them, ain't nothing she can do. The only way a woman can overcome a man, there's only one way, and everybody will tell you this that knows anything about self-defense. They'll tell you, if a woman surprises a man, that's the only way she gonna get away. She got to surprise him, right? Like stick on the back of, hit him in the back of the head with a bat, or he's on top of her and she reaches the mace and she sprays his mace in the face, and she can get away or whatever. Or she might luck up and he don't expect a kick coming. She might do a roundhouse kick and kick him in the head, might knock him down, but her leg ain't strong enough. He gonna get right up, but that's enough time for her to get away. Okay. She might kick him in the balls. He might lay there for 15, 20 seconds. But I'm gonna tell you, it's been said that when a man is really hyped up and has a lot of adrenaline going, you kick him in the balls, some guys don't even feel it like that. They might go down for 2 seconds or something. They right up and again like running after you. So my point, what I'm saying is, man, I don't care who your wife thinks she is. She ain't a man. And our job of letting our women do all this kind of crazy unprotected stuff, walking up out here, man, that is the only time that you have the right to try to control your wife. Why? Because she's doing something unsafe and she's only thinking with her emotions. This is why it's our job as husbands to set them straight. Now, if she, in the end, of course, she's a grown-ass woman. She do what she want. But you know what? I've asked a guy, I know a guy, and his wife, she's a hiker. I hate it. And I'll express to him how much I hate it. She go hiking by herself. It get dark and stuff. Hell, me and him have talked about, look, man, just get in the car and follow her, man. We be laughing about it, but we serious, man, because we don't know what to do. It's like she's a hiker. She go out in the middle by herself and stuff, and everybody, people be worrying about her. But she's just 2023 woman. I could do whatever I want. And then she's mad at her husband stuff. You know how it is. I'm going to show him I don't need him, all that kind of crazy mess. Yeah, you don't need him until you slip on a boulder and fall over a cliff and you down there with a limb in your knee and you can't move. And guess what? Your cell phone service is out. And it's 5:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And it's pitch black out where you are. Now what you going to do? See, men, we think like that. Women don't. That's why we are husbands and they are wives, because they're men, they're women, we're men, because we think like that, and it's our job to protect them. And look, my guy, he really wants to protect his wife. But see, she's being a hard ass. She's being silly. And he's trying to show he cares about her, but at least he got her to talk to him and let him know where let him know where she's at, and he can track her. She lets him track her, so she is loosening up a little bit. So he's doing a very good job with that. But hard-headed people, man, you can't. These days you can't talk to them, man. You can't talk to them. All right. So the other part of controlling, so that's as far as you can go as a husband. You can't be overly trying to control your wife. A safety thing, of course, but everything else, if your wife want to go out with the girls, you gotta be, once a month or something. You can't be like, oh, you just doing it. You gotta let people do what they want to do, because then they want to spend more time with you because they'll miss you. So this is why being a controlling husband it's a fine, basically it's a fine balance. But if you're too controlling, your wife feels smothered. What she'll do is she'll, like I said, open that door and open her heart and start talking to other people, trying to get away from you. And we don't want that, okay? So that is number 30. And so we'll be right back after this break. I hope y'all think about what I said. Bam. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Live streamed on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and CatholicAlpha.com. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. Hey. We are back for our conclusion for the day. I hope that you have gotten something out of these last 10 and it made you think a little bit. And some things are a little repetitive, but they are their own. They do stand alone on their own. Try your best to analyze. So what you get from today's show is you try your best to analyze yourself. And am I doing these things? And it's real simple. Analyze yourself just like every day we're supposed to do an examination of conscience with God. Like, am I doing the will of God or am I doing my will? Is God happy with me? That kind of thing. And that's kind of how you should be doing your marriage every day. Is my wife happy with me? Am I doing the things that I need to do to keep her satisfied and keep her content? Do we get along? If things ain't going the way I think they should go, then how am I going to, where do I go? Or how do I fix it? Okay. How do I turn that around? The first thing is you have a conversation with your wife. If you're thinking things ain't right, you have a conversation with her and ask her, listen, I think this is going on and I just want to verify with you, is it going on? And your wife will tell you yes or no if she feels she can tell you the truth. A lot of women don't think they can tell their husbands the truth. And it's sad because, like I said, men are unapproachable. If I'm an approachable husband, she's not going to tell me the truth on nothing. But if you keep pushing it, most women will. I don't care how mad they are. Okay. So see you guys the next show next week. We will finish this, be part 4. And again, have a great weekend. I will see you next week. And as we always do, we conclude with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Now go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is upon you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle. Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL. To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam!